I'm Holly McCaw with School Communicators Network. I'm also the Communications Director for Otsego Public Schools in Otsego in West Michigan. Also a former TV journalist, so I love telling stories with video. Videos can be a lot of fun, and it can really just add a whole new dimension into how you're telling your stories, kind of bring it to a whole different level. Pictures are fantastic at capturing a moment, but when you are able to add sound to that and movement to that photo, it then adds an experience for your viewers. So over the next few weeks, we're going to talk video, and with really some simple tips. It just takes a little thinking, a little planning, a little creativity, and some attention to detail. We're going to really get you going on videos, and not just making videos, but really making them look more polished and professional as well. So today we're going to talk about when to actually use video, how to get the right shots to create a good story, and getting good shots to better tell the story. We'll also briefly talk about planning it all out before you actually grab the camera and go. So the first question is, when should you actually go and shoot a video? You might be happy to know that you don't need to get video every single time. In fact, video is really time consuming and it's not always appropriate. It just kind of depends on the story that you're going to shoot. So you want to ask yourself a few questions. Is this a visual story? Is there a lot to see? You don't want to just get a bunch of video clips of people sitting around a room. So make sure your story's visual. Is this something that appeals to the masses? Is this going to interest more than just a few people, whether it's the majority of a school building or your community as a whole? Also, do I have time to put it together and get it out in a timely manner? You don't want to put out a video that is no longer relevant. And finally, do I have somewhere to show it? You want to make sure your video is going to be seen. If you answered yes to all of those questions, then it's time to start thinking video. Now, the very basics of a good video are the shots that you get and how they're put together. Think variety and creativity. Now, I have to warn you, I might ruin the way that you watch videos from now on because we're going to start picking them apart. In good videos, there are a variety of shot types. There are wide shots, medium shots, tight shots or close-ups, extreme close-ups, cutaways, and of course pans and zooms. So let's take a look at an example of each, then we'll get a little creative with them. A wide shot is bringing in as much content to your scene as possible, maybe an entire classroom like this. A medium shot is focusing in a little bit more of what's happening. Maybe you get a small group of kids like this. A close-up or tight shot is just getting one person or object. You really don't have the context of the story, but you have the detail, which brings your viewer right into the action. And to enhance the experience of video watching, grab an extreme close-up, like this student writing. You truly get the feel for the activity of what's going on. Now, a cutaway is a shot that helps your audience understand the whole picture of what's happening. It's a shot that literally cuts away from the action. It can be the reaction to the action. Say you're at an assembly. If you only show what's happening at the center or on stage, you don't get a feel for the emotion of the event. So grab a cutaway, a shot of the audience. If they're clapping, laughing, crying, or serious, you've now given your viewers the ability to be a spectator at that event. Cutaway can also just be simply a break from the action. Watching the same action over and over can get a little mundane, so you want to show a little bit more of what's going on. You want to break it up. Take the shot of our choir. The action is them singing, but a cutaway could be this close-up of a student holding the music sheet. Also, think of all the actions that are taking place with whatever story you cover. With the choir, there's singing, but there's also the piano playing, there might be foot tapping or the flipping of the pages. Capturing each of those will give you great variety in editing to offer your audience the whole picture. Now let's add some creativity. Instead of just standing in one corner of the room and trying to get all the shots that you need, think about moving around and moving in. That will give you new angles, new perspectives, and better natural sound. That's the sound that's already taking place in the room. So first, we want to move around. Try putting the camera at a low angle and shooting up, or setting it right on a desk, or shooting from a higher location. You're adding a new perspective to what's happening. Now move in. The zoom is a great feature to any camera, but you'll get a better shot if you move in rather than zoom in. Take this example. Here I zoomed in on a person typing on a keyboard. Just look and listen. Next, I've actually moved the camera right next to the keyboard. Look and listen to this shot. Do you notice the difference? The idea of the shot is the same, but getting a different angle and moving in on the shot just gave you a much better shot. I know that was a lot to take in, but really the idea is just to get you looking differently at videos and noticing the different types of shots that there are, the variety, the angles, things like that, and really how it's all put together. So I want you to take a look at an example here that uses a variety of those shots. It's a video I created of an outdoor volleyball court being assembled.
Go a little further and you can drop it right there.
Watch toes, guys.
Yeah. Court's 5,000 tiles. Then let's measure across. With the way the dimensions of the court are.
You'll start to notice a rhythm when you watch videos. You'll have a close-up, maybe followed by a medium or wide shot, and we have a wide shot like this. The next shot, probably a close-up. Kind of mix things up a little bit to really give people an insight into the action.
The court itself is 60 by 80 with the barriers, and then by the time you get to the red, the center tile court, it's 30 by 50. You have to be very careful because the playing surface is where you can play off.
And here you'll notice a series of close-ups all used back to back to speed up the process of this court assembly.
Corner that we're 10 feet off the end and 3 feet off the side. And then you got to measure that the whole way.
A nice wide shot here brings the whole project into perspective.
Half an inch in the beginning will put you off in the grass by the time you get down 80 feet. You got to do them in diagonals or the court will start to pull apart and won't snap together. It's kind of like Legos.
Done. But it took just over an hour.
Now here's where you see the example of moving in versus zooming in, so you get the attention to detail and good natural sound.
I'm in.
Once the girls start to play, it's always fun. They talk about how cool it is and what a great experience it's going to be, and they start walking on the court and they're looking for volleyballs. And, because playing outdoors is just something volleyball girls just don't get a chance to do.
So let's review again real quick what we've already gone over today. First of all, we want to make sure that our story is video worthy. Then we want to capture a variety of shots, wide, medium, tight, extreme close-ups, cutaways, etc. And then we want to move around and move in. I think you have a good idea now of the variety of shots to get and what you might want to capture to help tell a story. So we're going to actually back up a little bit and talk about what actually should be step one, and that is actually planning out your video. Now on our website, we're going to include a link to a video planner that you can print out for yourself. And this is really to help you go step by step in how to plan out your video, looking at the locations where you're going to be shooting, what video might be available to you, and then describing and writing down for yourself an actual shot sheet. What are those shots that you want to capture? It almost serves as really a checklist of things you want to make sure that you get before you leave that story to go put your video together. Having a good plan is going to help you get the right shots, and then you're going to come back with the right material. So now that we've talked about planning, we know that we want to make a video, we know what we want to shoot, we know the shots that we want to do, we're getting there. We're going to tell you next week about how to put it all together in a way that tells the story, keeps your viewers' interest, and makes it all memorable. So until then, maybe grab a camera, go out and try a couple of those shots, or just take a look at some of the videos that are around you. Pretty sure you're going to look at them in a whole new light, and that is just a great place to start to make your videos. We'll see you next week.